Hey everybody, today on Bella Renovare, we are gonna make over this little nightstand to make it a little boho, cute, fun piece. Stay tuned. Okay, so the story behind this matching set of nightstands is that they were my daughter's. We changed her room around. She only had room for one nightstand. So this one right here is the one that you can see. This one right here. This one right here is the one that we did on a previous YouTube channel or a previous YouTube video. Then we were left with this one. And so her best friend here, we are a military family, and her and her best friend wanted to have matching nightstands that they could take with them forever. And so this one opens this way, this one opens that way. Other than that, they are identical. Well, Roxanne is more unicorns and pink and whatever, and then Addison's room is more boho. Okay, her mom just redid her bed, painted it boho. So I'm gonna show you how you can have two of the same exact pieces of furniture and make them look completely different with just paint. So we're gonna do some blending on here. We're gonna add some wood you bend moldings. We're gonna make this boho. And then I'm gonna show you what the difference is on the same exact piece. So stay tuned.
I can hurt you like you hurt me too.
With our blending, now we have a base coat of the Flamingo and of Peony. I'm going to do one more coat of Peony, and then I'm going to do one more coat of Flamingo. What I did when I did my base coat is I did the outside, waited for it to dry, then I opened the door and did it. I also know that it's funny when you watch comments from people, and a lot of people say that they cringe when they see people painting hardware. So I don't always paint the hardware, but it depends on the look I'm going for. I know some people say that it looks like it's not, you know, professional or whatever. But honestly, I think it depends on the look you're going for. I also don't like to tell people what to do when they're creating, and so I would never tell someone not to do something that they want to do. So there's the coat of Peony. I'm going to back up just a little bit so you can see that. We're doing our coat of Flamingo. Also with this hardware, I will probably go over it with some gold so it will match, but then it'll have a little tiny pop also. We'll see. I'm not sure. I'm not too concerned right now with going up into my Peony with my Flamingo, as you can tell. Okay, so now I have my base coat of the two colors that I'm happy with. So we are going to start our blending process. I wanted to get a little bit closer when we're blending just so that you can really see what we're doing. So this process, I'm gonna have a mister bottle. I've got a brush for each color, and then I also have a neutral brush. This neutral brush is dry. It's not damp, it's not wet. It's dry and it doesn't have any paint on it right now. So it's a clean, dry brush. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna choose whatever color. This first step, you can either do Peony first or Flamingo first. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna do Peony, and I'm gonna start up in the Peony and I'm going to brush it down into the Flamingo. You're gonna want some paint on your brush, so brush it off. Start up here and go down. I'm gonna do vertical. Now I'm going to spray it, because the biggest problem with blending is when you don't have the right amount of moisture. So either you have too much moisture or you have not enough moisture. So if you don't have enough moisture, it sticks, but if you have too much moisture, then your paint starts running and it pulls too much paint. Either way, it's not right. And so either way, it's not good. And so you want to make sure that you have just the right amount of moisture. Sometimes it just takes practice to know. And you can go in different directions. So I'm gonna do circles. Okay, I'm doing circles. And then I'm going to go ahead and mist this. I'm gonna go horizontal, a little vertical. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Flamingo and go up into my Peony with it. So I've got some, I'm gonna mist it. My paint jars are so messy. I swear I'm like the messiest painter. I'm going down and then I'm gonna work my way up. I'm gonna go pretty far up into that Peony. I'm going to do some circles. What did I say? Circle, circle, dot, dot. Do some circles. I'm not too concerned with making it super perfect. I'm gonna do some circles up here. Go down. Now, what I'm gonna do is take my neutral brush and I'm gonna try to smooth that out. So think about your neutral brush as your feathering brush. So I'm going to mist the entire piece, and you can either start from the bottom or the top. I'm just a creature of habit. So I'm gonna start from the top and kind of feather it down. You can go vertical and you can see how it's starting to smooth that out. There's my cuckoo clock. I'm gonna go. Now remember, you can go a bunch of different ways when you're blending. So I'm going to mist this, and you can go diagonal. The key is to keep a light hand when you're doing this. Don't overwork it. So we're doing vertical, diagonal, horizontal. At this point, we're gonna walk away, okay? Because I can see it on the screen and it looks more blotchy on the screen than it looks in person. So we're gonna walk away and see what it looks like and then come back and see if we like it. The next step to this is we wanted to check out the blend to see if I liked it. I do. A lot of times when you blend, when it's wet, it looks blotchier, and so you need to just allow it to dry and walk away and come back and see if you like it. So it's blended. Boom, boom, boom. It's blended on this side too. Looks the same. And so what I'm gonna do now is add a Would You Bend molding. And this is really cute. It is a Dreamcatcher, and you can get this from most of your retailers. And so I will put it in a link in the description below of places that you can find it. But Would You Bend is these are moldings, and they are made with wood. And so you can stain them, you can paint them, you can drill into them, all that good stuff. And so this is, we're gonna piece it together. It's a Dreamcatcher. So I'm gonna start here, and then I'm going to work my way around because we're making this boho. The first step when you're using Would You Bend moldings is you want to warm this up, whether you use a hair dryer or you use a heat gun. So I'm gonna use a hair dryer really quick. I'm going to warm it up because if you can see it, it's not completely flat, and you want it to be flat to your surface. So I'm gonna warm this up. so as you can see it's flexible. And so now I'm gonna push it up to the area that I want it so that I know that it's kind of molded to that spot. Since this is in pieces, I'm going to work a section at a time. So I have it molded to that, so we're gonna work on that first. Now what I'm gonna do is put wood glue on it and go all the way out to the edges. I'm using Tite Bond Original Wood Glue. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place it here and I'm gonna hold it in place and I'm gonna heat it up one more time to make sure that it is totally flush. So I'm gonna make it flexible so I can push it down and make it totally flush to this piece. Let's see if we can get to the side so you can see exactly how you want it. So this is what you want to see. No spaces, no lines. You want it completely flush. You can tape this if you need to, if you feel like it's not going to hold in place, but generally with the wood glue and the wood you bend, it stays pretty well. Okay, so now that I have placed all of these where I want them to dry fit, what I'm gonna do is warm them all up, glue them, and then warm them again.
I thought that we had something special. I thought I handled this so well. I know we had the right intentions, but somehow it came to an end. I was looking for a remedy.
So I hope you guys like the placement. This is the cute little Dreamcatcher. It did come with a really big flower, but that would probably be for a bigger piece where you could kind of like stack these down and make them how you want them. But we're going with the little one. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some gemstone mousse. This is copper. It will be available in the fall. And I'm just going to brush it on. So this is a water-based mousse. It's not a gilding wax because it's more liquidy. You can see you can almost paint it on, but you can use it as a gilding wax type, and you can paint it on. So I'm just using an artist brush to put this on. You can use your finger as well. I'm just using an artist brush because it's easier. I probably need a different brush. Let's try this one. And that won't get in all the cracks and crevices. So I'm going to apply this to the entire piece. we are going to go over is how to use an IOD stamp. Iron Orchid Designs is a company who makes transfers and stamps and molds, and they have inks and ink pads, but I'm going to use Dixie Belle paint to do this. And so I'm going to use Sawmill Gravy, and I want to show you, we're going to get up close. Let's get up close here. Okay, so you're not going to use a ton of paint on this because otherwise it will not come out clear. And so I'm just almost kind of dry brushing this on here. There is a stamping block that you can buy, and then they also have a brayer to help, but I don't have those things. So I'm going to show you just how to stamp with your hands. So I have that on there. I am going to stick this stamp right here, and I'm going to start at this end and just set it down. And the brayer, what the brayer does is it rolls over top of the stamp to allow it to push down, but I'm just going to use my hand, and I'm going to push it down, and then I'm going to lift it up, and I've got a stamp there.